Welcome to e-learning examples with Seesaw. So today we're going to go over a few of the things that we've been doing with Seesaw, and in hopes of showing this to the school board at some point in time, having it so that you can add a variety of things that you have already done, either with Seesaw or with other ways of communication with parents throughout some of the snow days we've had. So how did it go? This is basically for the elementary. It's not anything to do with high school at this point in time, and our goal is just to share some things that we have done with Seesaw over the snow days. These are some kids' quotes about what happened over the last month or two, and I'm not going to share all of those with you right now because you'll have access to the slideshow at the end here so you can add your own things, but this is what we've come up with so far. One of my favorites so far is it wasn't like being in school, it was fun. And it's just kind of funny because it's kind of the same things we do in school every single day, but they think it's more fun just because they're at home and it's on their device at home. What did we do? Well, some video examples here that we have done, and I'm not going to necessarily play all these videos, but if you'd like to see them, you can use the QR code on your iPad and look through some of these videos. This was just a video that we used last week to show the vocabulary lesson for the week. Typically, we do this in groups and they come to my table and I go over each word, talk about it a little bit, and then have them write some things out on it. So how we adapted that for last week was I did this video which goes through every single word and what they mean and shows some examples. And then I had them use Seesaw to write the word, draw a picture, the things we normally would do maybe in our notebooks. Another one here was, this was a response to the vocab word. The word was blunder, and this girl, here's the actual video, but this girl responded that she had made a huge blunder by going the wrong way on a basketball court. And I just responded to her right here that says that my daughter did the same thing, was on the basketball team for 2 years. So I understood, and then I bet she learned a lot from it. And she got really excited about the responses from this post. The next one here is about, was a chart on hurricanes. This class has been having a little bit of trouble with chart reading. So I had them look at a chart and give me one sentence about the chart. This is from a student that is typically very, very quiet and rarely says anything in class, and he went into quite a lengthy detail about what the chart had on it. This one, she included a little drawing with her video, so it's kind of a way to show how the drawing works. This one was a much higher level video response from a higher end student, and he actually wrote on here for deeper connections. This one here, this guy has come so far this year, partially due to Seesaw and partially due to just being able to use the speech-to-text conversion on his Chromebook. He's doing amazing and almost reading at grade level right now. Video response for these were just things that happened over the first couple of snow days. I sent out things for them to do, like throw water into the snow or into the air when it was sub-below, and making a gigantic fort, the biggest fort ever, and they got pretty excited about that and made some great videos. This one was the rainbow ice and making frozen fingers out of gloves and seeing how long it took to freeze. This was actually, I'm just going to say his name, Jacob Van Watermelon. He was reading a random read that was about adding numbers, and he actually took it upon himself to make a video to go along with it. And then Mr. Beard happened to come on, and he responded to this video, and Jacob was so excited. He will not leave Seesaw alone now. He is constantly on it, always posting all kinds of things. This video here, this is just the screen where it tells you where and how to add a video of your own that you may have seen or posted over this time. So to do some screenshots on a Chromebook, if you're not sure, this slide tells you how to do that, and just basically duplicate the slide and add your videos in right here if they're a video. Then we go to photo examples. So these are divided up into sections of different things Seesaw does. Here's some examples of some photo responses: compound words, drawing pictures, This one was just response to blowing bubbles in Sub-Zero. They actually drew pictures of the actual bubbles. This one was writing on the desk, and I think it was maybe Timeline or Climax. This was from Miss Johnson's class. And it's always cool to have them take a picture, because then you don't have to go look at it or find it, or if it gets erased, you know where it's at. This was a fort that one of Miss Johnson's kids made. Proof of work in IXL. Just have them take a quick picture of where their numbers are. Proof of reading in Mayan. And this was the page where you can now add your own photos to this area. Note examples. I had a note here just for fun, estimating. My little grandson loves donuts because he tells his dad all the time that that's all policemen do is eat donuts. And so every time they go to Casey's, they have to get a donut. And this day he had brought a bunch of donuts over to my house, and we were playing a game, and it just got me to thinking, how cool would it be if they could do a estimating prediction on how much snow we're going to have for the week. So I had quite a few kids. You can see, look at this, 60 kids, and quite a few of them actually guessed, and we're still waiting for Mark Torello for our official count, but I'll be bringing some glazed donuts next week for a few kids. Bribing them to participate. We did this the first couple of days. Every time they participated, they got a certain amount of money, and this was at that point in time how much money they had earned for our classroom economy. And then this is where you would put in your own for notes. Link examples. Okay, so links are when you send them outside of Seesaw to somewhere else, like IXL or Pearson. And these are just some examples for that. I haven't done this a lot. I've done it a little bit with Padlet, and maybe some other programs like Quizlet and some of those, but typically I use Schoology for all of that, but that is certainly something that you might want to investigate. Activity library examples. Miss Johnson has used the activity library a little bit more than I have. Here's an example of some fluency checks that she made up. She just didn't recreate anything. She had students post a recording of themselves reading a piece out of our Pearson Real Life book, and then she says you can put feedback to them, and you could take a step further with students reflecting on their reading as well. And it shows down here every kid that did it and what their response was, or actually in this case I think they were just reading aloud to her. And this was a figurative language activity, and this is where you can add your activity from the activity library or make your own and share it. We just started using the blog. We haven't used it a whole lot yet, but I'm using it for our pen pals in France. We've been using Padlet for this, and it's a little bit confusing, so we thought we'd try using the blog. And so far, we just started this probably in end of January. We haven't completed anything on it yet, as we haven't been in school very much, so I'm anxious to see how this works. But the blog can be used for a number of things. It is password protected, so no one else can see it if you want to use it for that purpose. If anybody's used the blog, feel free to put something there. And then parent participation, just wanted to say something about that. The kids get super excited when their parents comment or like their posts, and this was kind of a fun one here where Jacob's mom is saying, "Thunder or thunder, check your work, bud." And then I came on, "Nice catch, mom," and then Jacob's like, "Oops." And so it's fun to know that the parents are on watching to see what the kids are doing too. We can't possibly catch everything. And then I put this on there kind of for the parents, but the kids got excited about it too. Many of you probably saw this on Facebook, and it was basically a tree that had tons of faces on here. And I think at one point I saw 14 faces in here, and the parents have been guessing how many faces they can see too. Nothing to do with education exactly, but we were talking about illusions that week, so it came out pretty nice to be able to share that with the parents and the kids. And this is where you can put anything that you have if you've seen parent participation within your Seesaw at this point. And then we'd like to share how it affected our test scores. And of course, this is a 1 month out of however many we'll end up doing Seesaw, but we've been using Seesaw all year, so this might be a little bit skewed in our case because they know how to do it. They know what we're expecting out of it. But our test scores actually didn't really change. As you can see here, Between all of the classes, the last 2 weeks, all of our scores have been very similar to what we have, and in one case here, this score here was better than any other score we'd had all year. So I don't feel like having snow days in this case, as long as they're participating, is going to affect them a whole lot as long as we can keep them on board. And truthfully, they didn't spend on Seesaw or on homework a whole lot of time that day. The days that we've been off, they probably spent maybe 20 to 30 minutes on actual homework per subject. So it is very effective, and I'm pretty excited about this whole thing. And here's some engagement stats of our Seesaw so far this year, since we've gotten the full-blown version. And of course, not everybody's even on and up and running yet, but this is what we've had. So far, 585 parent visits. What a great way to have engagement and communication with those parents and just let them know what's going on. We've had 185 new items just in the week of February 10th through February 16th, 71 new comments, and 149 likes. And then there's some fun tips to do. These are just some. Add some if you have some tips. This is kind of a cool thing. The kids always get pretty excited, and parents probably think we're crazy, but throwing some Bitmojis on there instead of just your face all the time, or some of you that just hate seeing yourself like me. I hate seeing myself. Throw some Bitmojis on. If you're not sure how to make a Bitmoji, let me know and we will certainly show you how to do that. It's pretty easy to do. And I actually explained right here on this page how to do your Bitmoji. It says copy and paste your Bitmoji or silly picture of yourself on this page. It fills up, add another page. Hint, an easy way to add a Bitmoji is to take a screenshot off of your phone, save to your pics on your phone, and email it to yourself. Otherwise, AirDrop works great on a Mac. If you're not sure even how to just make a Bitmoji, let me know and we can certainly get you going on that. What's next? Well, who knows where this is all going, but our goal, I think, at this point is to try to convince the school board that e-learning is something that can actually work for us. So this year, we're just playing with it. We're just starting out, getting used to it, figuring out what all's been going on in it. Miss Johnson and I have been using it, I think, for about 4 to 5 years already. So we don't expect you to be at the point where we are today. It's not a difficult program, but of course it's something different and you don't have tons of time to learn it all the time. So just try it, log in, play with it, get your kids signed up. Don't even worry about connecting parents at this point in time unless you feel like you want to do that. And then by next year, hopefully this will go farther. Hopefully we'll have something in place where we can actually use some e-learning and digital days for snow days if needed. And then we can start working with the parents on it. So for this year, just play with it. Anything that you've already done with it, feel free to share, and we would just love to have that to show to the school board and to our principals and administration to see what it's like and how it can work for us. Thanks for listening.